The Gina and Matty podcast.
As we say hello to our next guest, she is the author of Little People, Big Feelings, co-host of Beyond the Chaos podcast, and runs the Connected Parenting AU Instagram, which is a great place for parents, big feelings, tricky behaviour, and helping with emotional regulation in the mini-humans. It's the one and only Gen Muir. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning, guys.
We're talking about this morning getting the mini-humans ready for school. What advice would Gen Muir have for parents who are saying goodbye to their littlest and sending them off to big school next year?
Oh, it's such a beautiful time. And, I think the fact that you're more relaxed with a subsequent child than you are with the first probably only does them good things. But in terms of things you can actually do, I've got a few key tips. And the first one is ridiculously simple, but it is make sure they practice opening and closing the lunchbox that they're going to take to school next year, drinking from the drink bottle, putting on shoes, making sure they can get a jumper on and off independently. Like those things, I know it sounds so silly and we may not even have the lunchbox that she's going to use next year. But if you can imagine you're that tiny little person and you've navigated learning the new rules in the classroom and getting to know new people, and your head is almost exploding with all this new knowledge, and then you get to lunch and you can't open your lunchbox, it just would be the thing that would do you in. You would just think.
Yeah.
So I think
especially with all those trendy, like bento box style lunchboxes that are out now.
Yeah, they can be tricky. So even just opening a pack of rice wheels independently, often if kids have been at childcare or daycare or preschool, they just haven't had to do that so much independently. Even youngest children, siblings step in and do things for them, right? So it's sort of doing that. The next thing is about the boosting EQ. We used to think the thing to prepare a child for starting school. So I remember being put in a room at my house. My name is Genevieve, my full name, right? And so it's a lot of E's. And my mum said, before you go to school, you need to learn to spell your name. And I remember writing it over and over again. And now we say, don't worry about it. Let the teachers teach them the academics. But what we want to teach them is actually the ability to navigate disappointment. So one of the things that will happen at school is there's only one pink pencil in the box and there's 32 children, and not everybody's going to get the colour they want. Not everybody's going to get picked first. You're not always going to be able to find your friends. And then the next thing, I touched on at the start, but I often say talk less and listen more. So we kind of don't want to overpromise, but we want to keep it neutral. Like school's coming up and there'll be, you get to make some friends and you get to do some learning, and there might be bits that, you don't like so much, but really just listening, and if they have questions or if they have concerns, we sit in that a little bit more. So that would be the top three things that I think parents can do now. Over summer, practicing the basics, playing some games, letting your child, experience that EQ of ups and downs, and just being ready to listen a little bit about any concerns your child has.
Oh, Jen, I want to come and live at your house with you. You're so lovely.
Jen, she came home, she had her orientation, so it was like 90 minutes at the primary school she's going to tomorrow, and she came home and I said, how was it? She said, there was so much lining up. And I was like, okay, that's something she's never really had to do before. And she did tell the principal to slay Queen. So she's... I said, good luck with that. She is all yours from next year. Yeah, she's the third child, yeah.
I tell you what, those third children, they go in and they do. Yeah, my son, I remember he was in kindy and the teacher walked up and said, no hat, no play. And he pointed back at her and went, no hat, no play. Like, you're not wearing a hat.
God bless those third children. Jen, thank you so much for your time this morning. And you can get more of Jen from Connected Parenting AU on Instagram. And like I said, Beyond the Chaos is the podcast, and Little People, Big Feelings is the book. We'll chat to you again next week, Jen. Have a great day.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.
Loved it.
Bye.
Gina and Matty.